Happy Monday! This is Annie Rind, back with another weekly episode of the 1001 Business Problems Solved with Microsoft Teams podcast. Today, I'm beginning a series of episodes dedicated to helping you ferret out low-hanging fruit in your business as a leader. I'm not sure how many episodes the series will take at this point. However many it takes, I suppose. We like to keep these episodes 6 minutes or so in length, so it may take several. Don't worry, though. These are going to be humdingers, and I bet you'll be glued to every episode. Through this series, I'm going to tell you how to find low-hanging fruit in your business, even though you may not know very much about the functionality of Teams. You see, you don't need to learn Teams beyond what any ordinary end user needs to know. Teams is plenty user-friendly enough that it's mostly just point and click. Solving problems with Teams isn't a case of learning how to use Teams, however. It's a case of being able to tailor Teams to facilitate your unique processes and solve your unique problems. That's where most organizations, including your competitors, fail. They just flounder about with Teams and don't solve their problems. You're going to be different. And this series is going to make you stand out. To become world-class in your collaborative and informational processes, as a leader, you just need to know what questions to ask. You're busy running a business. You don't have time to learn the geeky stuff. So, with that said, there is one important takeaway if you don't get anything else out of today's episode and the rest of the series, and this is it. As the leader, you need to always suspect and ask. You need to suspect that each problematic or time-consuming collaborative or informational process can be improved with Teams. Then, once you suspect there is probably something in Teams that will improve a particular process, you need to corner your Microsoft 365 expert and ask this one question. Can Microsoft 365 improve or fix this process? I know, that's not super profound, but that's a good thing. It's so simple. Now, you'll likely need to explain the business process to your Microsoft guru once or twice, but if the expert can get a grip on the workings of the process, he or she can probably prescribe a solution. Let me tell you of a perfect example from our recent past. Arnie was working with a small business owner, and together, they were analyzing the client's business for low-hanging fruit. While there were several opportunities that became apparent, none stood out more than the fact that they were spending several hours a day as a staff managing the status of client transactions via email. Now, nothing was wrong with the process, it was just taking a lot of hours. When the client described the process, Arnie recognized that SharePoint, the foundational platform that Teams rests upon, would radically reduce the time the staff spent statusing transactions. Within a week, the solution was created, rolled into Teams, and voila. Each employee in that office recovered 2 hours per day to do other high-priority work, which in this case involved increasing sales and marketing time and gaining more clients. The owner of that small business didn't have to know anything about SharePoint. All she had to do was say, "Here's my process. It takes a lot of hours, and can Teams streamline it?" The how-to was up to Arnie. In your case, it might be your in-house Microsoft Power user. It might be your MSP. Regardless, the takeaway is always the same. Suspect and ask. The owner suspected the time-consuming process could be improved and mentioned it to Arnie. The result of just asking that question? Well, let's just say that saving 2 hours per employee was transformational for the business. So, Annie, you say, if all I need to do is suspect and ask, what in the world could an entire series of episodes on the subject cover? Well, here's what I'll do for you in those upcoming episodes. I will ask you several more questions, but those questions will be directed at you, rather than your Microsoft expert. I'll ask questions in such a way that you'll begin building your own list of potential improvement opportunities. I bet you'll end the series with 20 or more processes or tasks that can be improved with Teams. Then, you can run to your Microsoft expert and tell him or her that Annie said the process can probably be improved with Teams. Now, what if you don't have an expert? Well, you can always book a free hour with Arnie at countyquest.com, or you can just send him an email at arnie.house@countyquest.com. That's house as in HOWES. You can also post a comment on this podcast. If your podcast app does what it is supposed to do, we'll be notified and we'll try to answer. Now, next week is Christmas, but never fear. The next installment of the series will drop on Monday, and you'll be given your first few ideas for where to look in your business for quick wins and low-hanging fruit. I'm really looking forward to helping you find these opportunities. You'll be shocked at how many opportunities you'll find, and you'll be even more shocked to learn how quickly teams can improve those processes. So, remember to suspect and ask. That's all you have to do. This is Annie, signing off until next week.